Welcome to part 2 of my sermon this morning on blessing and cursing. So we're going to go to a second scripture here, okay? And it's in Genesis chapter 1. Does everybody know Genesis? Even the unsaved should know something about Genesis because it's posted all over the world. So it's a very, well-known aspect of Christianity and Judaism. So what we're going to do is, we're going to read this to you a little bit. It's going to take some time, but you'll get over it. We need some word in our lives. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And they were without void. They were with void. Hold on, I need to get some glasses on here. My wife doesn't think I'm funny. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. This is not when God created everything. This was the place that He began, and then He started to speak. Verse 3 says, "Then God said, 'Let there be light,' and there was light. He spoke into the darkness, He spoke into the void, and all of a sudden there was something. Where there was nothing, there was something. Before you were put here on this planet, there was nothing. You, individually. There was nothing in that space where you stand right now. There was nothing. And He created that person that you are and placed you in that space." The next verse we look at is verse 6. He said, "Let there be firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." Again, He created by speaking. He spoke into existence something positive, and He says that it was good. The next verse here that we're going to go to is verse 9. God said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear," and it was so. He spoke into existence what was about to be, and then it was. Verse 11, and God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself, and on the earth," and it was so. Again, He created everything you see out there, trees, the grass, everything out there we can eat. He just created it by speaking it. He had a design and He spoke it, and it happened. It was miraculous. Verse 14, then God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for the signs and seasons and for the days and the years." He created the 4 seasons that we have here on earth by speaking it. He created the night sky that you see that's so beautiful and amazing that astronomers sit in awe of. He created it by speaking. What comes out of His mouth, He says, is good. He doesn't say anywhere in here, "I created this and the whole day was a waste because it was bad." He didn't say that. He said, "What I've created here is good." The next verse that we're going to go to is verse 20. And God said, "Let the waters abound with abundance of living creatures, and let the birds fly above the earth across the face of the firmament of the heavens." So He spoke into existence the living creatures. If you ever look across God's creation, you see the living creatures and how diverse they are and how different they are, but then you see this life in them. It's a thread of Him in all of it. It's simply amazing. Finally, in verse 26, God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." And He created us. He spoke into existence you and me. He created us by speaking. And He spoke life. It said there, He gave us dominion over everything that He had created. And He spoke that authority, and it happened. So see, we have a blessing that we live under. We don't have the cursing that we live under. And I want to get to that because in our lives today, we see a lot of people out here that they're cursing one another. And as Christians, we need to put an end to that in the church. It needs to stop. See you in part 3.